Being immersed in nature can be a wonderfully relaxing experience most of the time. That peace can be shattered quite quickly, however, if you happen across any number of wild animals that are known to snack on humans. With that in mind, these 5 creatures you don't want to run into in the wild are worth keeping an eye out for and avoiding at all costs. Before we begin, make sure you hit that subscribe button to get notified every day for more amazing content. With that being said, let's begin. Number 5. Saltwater crocodile. Known to many simply as salties, these crocodiles are considered to be the largest of all living reptiles and are also seen as living dinosaurs. Their habitat is mostly located around India and Southeast Asia, with Australia also being a hotbed for saltwater crocodile activity. They're found in many different environments, with some exceeding 20 feet in length and larger specimen routinely weighing well over 2 tons. Add their less than appealing demeanor to these numbers and you've got one hell of a fearsome predator, as well as an animal that's not to be trifled with under any circumstances. The good news is that the females are usually smaller than the males, although their temperament is no less vicious. So you should hope to run into a female if you're gonna be out in croc territory, which would at least give you a bit of a fighting chance. Usually found along smaller rivers and swamps instead of out in the ocean proper, these crocs are very territorial and will take on anything silly enough to wander into what they consider to be their feeding grounds. They're also classified as hyper-carnivorous predators, meaning they'll chomp down on anything they feel like, even taking on smaller species of crocodiles or resorting to cannibalism, happily eating smaller specimens of their own species. They prefer to sneak up on unsuspecting prey before drowning them and eating them whole. Their massive jaws snap down with such incredible force that it's nearly impossible to pry them open again. Once you've been snatched by a salty, there's really not much you can do other than hope for the best. They've been known to even win bouts with sharks, easily dominating and subduing them. We don't know about you, but we think that anything able to take on a shark and come out on top is worthy of our respect and fear. It goes without saying that these crocs kill plenty of people each year, with some individuals seemingly getting a taste for human flesh and being classified as man-eaters, which is a serious issue for anyone unlucky enough to live in the area. Many of these man-eaters are hunted down and killed, but many more are able to continue to hunt with reckless abandon, especially in more rural areas where mounting a search party is difficult. The saltwater crocodile has been around in its current form for at least 4 million years, making it not only one of the most fearsome predators on the planet, but also one of the oldest, with no known subspecies to speak of. Number 4. Brown recluse spider. And so we move from one of the world's largest deadly animals to one of the world's smallest. The deadly brown recluse spider is less impressive than saltwater crocodiles, but is no less worrisome, as their toxic venom is known to have necrotic properties. Basically, a bite from one of these little guys will result in your skin literally being eaten away as you watch. They're also known as Sicariidae, presumably named after the religious zealot terrorists known as the Sicarii. They're teeny tiny creatures, not often exceeding 2 centimeters across, but can grow larger in some circumstances. Their color doesn't necessarily have to be brown, leading many people to think that they must be harmless, only to realize too late that the white or gray spider they just encountered was, in fact, a brown recluse. Their name is fitting, however, with regard to their habitat, with the brown recluse very much being reclusive, which is good news for most of us who will probably never run into one of these things in the wild. Unlike most spiders, they only have 6 eyes, which is uncommon but not particularly unheard of. When alarmed, they get into a pouncing position and remain motionless instead of running away. When threatened, however, they usually do turn and run, preferring to avoid conflict despite their impressive bites. Cool, damp places are their preferred hangouts, with wood piles and cellars being 2 spots that they're generally found in. What makes their bite so troublesome is that it usually isn't painful to begin with most victims being unaware that they were even bitten in the first place. Not all bites feature necrosis, but those few that do cause very serious issues. requiring patients to be hospitalized for further treatment. Some bites even lead to systemic symptoms, even affecting the central nervous system in a low percentage of incidents. Even though the chances of having a severe reaction are low, organ failure or even death can occur if those serious bites aren't immediately treated, making them worth avoiding at all costs. When necrotizing bites do cause ulcers, it can wreak havoc on the surrounding soft tissue of your skin and take months to heal, leaving incredibly deep and painful scars, with some bites causing wounds as large as 10 inches across. Gangrene is another issue and can get out of hand within a week or so if left untreated. Number 3. Box jellyfish. Known as one of the most deadly jellyfish in the entire world, the box jellyfish is a fearsome opponent to anyone who accidentally runs into one. They're named because of their medusae, which form a cube. Their venom is highly potent and toxic, with their stings being so painful that many swimmers succumb to their effects before they even reach the shore. These jellyfish are able to move at a decent clip, much faster than other jellyfish species, propelling themselves along at up to 6 meters per minute on a regular basis, which is nothing to laugh about considering how dangerous they can be. When startled, they're able to move even faster, reaching speeds of up to 2 meters per second. They even have actual eyes and a significantly developed central nervous system, allowing them to respond to external stimuli and move towards perceived prey. This makes them much more likely to sidle up against you if you happen to be within close proximity to them, with some swimmers saying that they get a sense that the jellyfish were able to follow them around, a particularly unnerving realization. With a total of 24 eyes, they're definitely not worth getting close to. It should be noted that they can't really make out images, but are able to determine the difference between light and dark, which helps to guide them. They can easily avoid obstacles and engage in quick swimming motions when on the hunt, exhibiting what some say is behavior they'd expect from fish, not jellyfish. Their hollow tentacles can reach up to 3 meters long, with the entire jellyfish weighing up to 4.5 pounds. The fact that they actually actively hunt instead of simply drifting, coupled with their potent venom, makes them a particularly tricky adversary. Not all box jellyfish are a threat to humans, but Australia seems to have a large concentration of those that are, with their venom making individual cells in the human body swell and become porous, leaking potassium. This can lead to massive heart failure and death in as little as 5 minutes from the point of contact. Despite their deadliness, only 64 deaths have been attributed to the box jellyfish in Australia since 1883, but they are undoubtedly able to kill children or the infirm with surprising swiftness. The Malay Peninsula sees many more deaths, with up to 40 people dying each year after being stung. A zinc antivenom has been developed, lessening the danger to those in the first world as long as they maintain their vigilance. Stings can be initially treated with vinegar to neutralize their toxin and prevent further spread of nematocysts, followed by a trip to the hospital just in case. Chemicals on our skin cause the venom to activate, with pantyhose actually being a realistic way to protect oneself while in the water. Number 2. Scorpionfish. These fish have one hell of a nasty sting, injecting venom through needle-sharp spines located on the fish's back. These spines are coated with a mucus that houses the venom, injecting it under the skin as the spines puncture and dig deeper. They're quite brightly colored, with many divers saying they look quite pretty up close. They each have anywhere between 11 and 17 spines that are all capable of causing intense pain and, in some circumstances, death. They're ambush predators, lying in wait until unsuspecting prey comes within striking distance. They're also capable of herding certain fish, shrimp, or crabs into a corner before chomping down, suggesting that they do have some intelligence. Once cornered, the fish rapidly expands its buccal cavity, creating a powerful vacuum that allows them to literally suck prey into their open mouths, swallowing them up quite rapidly. These fish are considered to be invasive, and many countries around the world engage in mass culls of scorpionfish to help protect native species, as well as swimmers or divers. They're not toxic to eat, assuming you don't get stung in the process of gutting and cleaning them, with their flesh being thoroughly edible, although it's definitely far from a delicacy. Their habitat is usually around coral reefs, with their coloring helping them to blend in with the rocks and corals around them. They're also mostly found in the Indian and South Pacific Oceans, although rising global ocean temperatures have seen them migrate quite far afield in recent years. With over 200 known species, there's a lot of diversity when it comes to scorpionfish, but all of them are able to cause pain with their venom. While not particularly deadly to people, their sting causes intense pain in anyone unlucky enough to be pricked, with some swimmers dying from complications arising from that pain instead of their bodies succumbing to any particular poison. With a lifespan of 15 years, any scorpionfish introduced to a new ecosystem is easily able to take over and cause all sorts of problems in the long run. Number 1. Grizzly bear. The grizzly is a fearsome predator that's found in North America. It's worth noting that many scientists are now shying away from the term grizzly, instead referring to these bears as North American brown bears, which seems to downplay their viciousness just a tad. The grizzly has many distinct subspecies, also being known as the Kodiak bear, peninsular grizzly, and Mexican grizzly bear. They're found all over the place, with bears located along the coast generally being larger and more intimidating than their kin living further inland. Researchers have recently determined that the species made its way to North America around 50,000 years ago, with the US variants cropping up around 13,000 years ago. The scientists who use the term brown bear are referring to the fact that the modern grizzly is actually a subspecies of other brown bears found all over the world, meaning that it really shouldn't be classified as a separate species at all. That being said, they tend to be more ferocious than many known brown bear types, growing to a height of over 7 feet in some cases, also weighing up to 800 pounds or more. Coastal males dwarf their inland relatives, weighing in at a ridiculous 900 pounds on average. Some have even been recorded at over 1,500 pounds, although it's rare to see specimens that large on a regular basis. Grizzly bears were almost hunted to extinction at one time, with only around 1,500 to 2,000 estimated to be alive in the US as of 2013, according to one National Geographic study. They're more vicious and aggressive than the more populous black bear, which is why people hunted them so completely. Conservation efforts to save the species are currently well underway and seem to be making good progress year to year. Hope you enjoyed the video, folks. If you did, make sure you click that subscribe button before you head out if you're new. That's all you have to do. Come on, just click it. I know you want to. Oh, and if you enjoyed the video, drop a like. I heard it gives you superpowers in the future or something. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.